All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Green the Eagle Eye coming to you again with another video. And that's right, this one is for the boxing fans and the MMA fans only. We're going to be talking purely boxing and MMA today. You're on the Filthy Casual and Hardcore show with me, Chig, and obviously my co-host, Ola. Say hello to the people, Ola.
What's happening, people? Back here to talk about punching people in the face, kicking them in the shins, elbow in their mouth. Yeah, man, we're back here talking about all of that.
There you
Yeah, I
go.
think,
And joining us today, our first guest, Ola. This is our first guest on
yeah,
the show,
man.
right? So joining us today is, of course, big fight fan, Kenny Ken. Say hello to the people, Kenny.
Guys, I'm glad to be honoured to be on here. But you know me, man, I'm a boxing purist. So, I look at MMA, and one thing I do like about it, and Derek Chisora said something in an interview I watched yesterday when I was working from home.
All right.
MMA treat their fighters better. What's happened, right, is that with MMA, it's not all about winning. It's all about if you can make money and the fighters like how you fight, you will still get a fight. But in boxing, you lose a fight and you go down in a ranking, that means you've got to work your way back up.
Yeah.
And then whenever you lose big, people say, "Oh, you've got to retire." How many times has Derek Chisora been told to retire?
It's true. It's true. I must admit, as ironic as that is, because I know Ola will be like, "What?" Someone's actually saying that MMA treat their fighters better, but it's true. A loss for boxing means a lot more in boxing when you lose. It does.
I think Conor McGregor, right, has lost a couple of big fights, big high profile fights, but he's still the biggest draw in UFC.
Yeah.
And, like before that, I know before that, Ronda Rousey got battered by Holly Holm. And then she fought again. She got absolutely battered. But I tell you one thing: she made her comeback in UFC. It's fine because of the reasons that she's marketable. In boxing, it's not like that. You know what I mean? And
they would have her tomorrow. They would have her tomorrow if she really wanted to fight. They would have Ronda Rousey down there tomorrow. And one more thing to add to what you said there, Kenny. The fights are quicker to make. They don't faff around with fights. If they're going to make a fight, if they say this fight, they look good together, it's happening within a matter of a month and a half. They go to their camp, the fight's happening, it's all signed for and that. So that's always a plus to it as well.
Yeah, but I think with MMA, with the MMA and UFC, it's actually been good for boxing because what's happened is that it's in terms of in the United States, not so much in England, but in the United States, it's in a situation where boxing needs a massive champion. And I think what's happened with MMA is that the UFC is murdering boxing in the United States. No doubt about it. It's murdering it. Like I said, the only fights that sell out in America is basically the lightweight fights. And the reason and the thing with boxing is that it has a huge Hispanic following, and that's why you have to. That's why the Mexicans do very well. They pack out Las Vegas and Los Angeles. But a fight of this magnitude with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, it's not been fought in Las Vegas. It's been fought in Staples Corner because that's the next. They're trying to build out as a boxing venue. So, there are plus and minuses of UFC for me.
But it's funny you should say that, Ken. I guess this was one of the things I want to talk about. I find it pretty interesting that Americans are not really that excited about this fight. In fact, if anything, they more look at it as a Tyson Fury fight than a Deontay Wilder fight. Isn't that kind of weird for an American fight?
Not really. You've got to realise what's happened is that boxing's lost its appeal. You've got to realise right now is that back in the day when I was a bit younger, like I said, you had a lot of people, black Americans who wanted to be the next heavyweight champion. They wanted to be the fastest man in the world. But now, a lot of them now go to colleges, like I said, colleges in the United States, give them sponsorship for American football, like I said, scholarships for baseball, and a lot of things as well. Nowadays, it's the NBA now. That is the biggest growing sport in the United States. You know, you've got stars from everywhere, you know, guys who are about 10 foot tall, making loads of money. They're even making more money than tennis players, golfers, and Premiership footballers. So that's the big thing. So, in terms of like Deontay Wilder, he's in the era where basically, you know, like I said, people have lost interest in the noble art, and that, which is a shame because he's a great, in my opinion, he's got makers of being a great champion, but for him to make money, he's probably going to have to fight away from the United States.
Yeah, agreed. Ola, let me get your thoughts. I mean, are you quite excited about this fight yourself? Because I must admit, for me, I didn't really buy into the whole circus of what they were trying to say. I just like the fight. For me, I'm not buying into this, oh, they have beef with each other rubbish, because I know that they're quite friendly away from this build-up, whereas the fight itself really does intrigue me. What do you think about this fight?
I mean, if you look at the fight in the context of, like you said, taking the fight away from the whole drama, it's not a bad matchup. But for me, I thought Fury came back too quick from his layoff for this fight. That was my initial thought, anyways. And I thought he's going to need at least two comeback fights with very good fighters. Maybe not as good as Wilder, but good enough to shake off the ring rust, and all of that. Is that one good comeback fight? It went the whole 12 yards, yeah. But Wilder is a different proposition from everything that I think Fury's dealt with before, especially because listen, when people have this type of layoff, it's not easy thing to come back to do. Even people as big as Muhammad Ali back in his day had a couple years layoff, came back to fight Fraser. Was it Fraser? And he lost that fight. Yeah, he lost that fight. You know, and that's Muhammad Ali we're talking about in all his greatness. So having layoff doesn't really help if you don't get that ring rust off for you, especially if you're fighting somebody that's been as active as Deontay Wilder. But having said all of that, I think Fury is so much more technical as a fighter, and it might just edge it. I feel he's got the technical ability to outfight Wilder if he doesn't get caught. So that's at least my perception of where the fight's gonna go and how it might go.
Yeah.
You know, can I just cut in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
But you know, the thing is, right, is you look at the situation, is like I liken Tyson Fury to like David A. Now you look at David A's 2 fights with Tony Bellew. There's no doubt that if David Hay was a live fighter, Tony Bellew don't lay a glove in him. David Hay in his prime was not only, people talk about his power in both hands, especially those right hand and his left hooks.
Yeah.
But one thing about David, he had fantastic footwork, quick hands, and he can actually box. He had a good jab, and he could, like I said, he could move and everything. But you could tell that when he went in there, that kind of, you know, being able to evade punches, being able to sustain the head movement and everything, that kind of went, and the footwork went. So you know, so what he tried to do in both fights, he tried to knock out Tony Bellew.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that Tyson Fury is that sort of thing, but what I'm trying to say is that Tyson Fury's been inactive for the last 2.5 years. Obviously, for depression, which is very sad for his family. Obviously, like I said, you know, and obviously there was problems with like recreational use of drugs, which happens to anyone in life. But I just talk about a live fighter. Deontay Wilder is a live fighter. Now he may not have the technique to, you know, like Tyson has, where he's got, you know, in terms of footwork thing. But one thing is, he's a very athletic as well. He is quick. You know, like I said, he is a very accurate puncher as well. He doesn't kind of miss punches. Another thing as well, people underrate his jab as well, because when he uses his jab is like leverage, because you know when you're in a fight with Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, stiff jabs, man. It comes with them stiff jabs.
Yeah. So what's happening is that you get a jab, and you go, and when the jab that actually, kind of wins you the fight and makes your opponent think is the one where you hit him straight through, straight on the nose.
Yeah.
That the eyes watering, the nose is bleeding, and you think, oh damn. Now you don't. Now what's happened, right? That is like a ramrod jab that Deontay Wilder has. Now people talk about the like the haymaker or like the windmill that Deontay has, and that's something he did. He could put you to sleep, but you can never underestimate. He's quick, and he's going to come forward as well. Now,
but how do you counter that? So if you're Tyson, surely boxing him southpaw is the way to counter that.
Well, the thing with the thing with Tyson is that is he going to be able to sleep those punches? Now, Tyson 3 years ago, that's a silly question. He can sleep those punches. He's quick enough to outwit by switch hitting. But is he going to be able to have the time to do that against Wilder? Because what's happened? Wilder's going to come forward. He's not going to be tentative like Klitschko was. Like Klitschko, when he fought Tyson Fury, he was one thing. He was slow and handle foot. He couldn't work him out. Tyson Fury hit switch hitch. Klitschko couldn't dominate the ring, the center of the ring. He couldn't get his jab going because what was happening is there was nothing there. So when he was hitting, Tyson Fury was moving, head movement, and most of the time he was hitting the shoulder. And what would happen is that every time he hit the shoulder, Tyson Fury would punch, and out. You know what I mean? He didn't concuss him, but he went bum, 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 and then he was out. And he did that virtually for most of the fight. Now, for Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder, again, he has to win the jab exchange. He has to have a situation that when Wilder's coming forward, he has to discourage Wilder from coming forward. So it's not just one jab. It's got to be a double jab, right hand and move. And then, like I said, lose his shoulders and then get Wilder to come forward and then discourage him from coming forward. But he has to have a jab. But it's not just going to be the jab that's going to discourage Wilder. He has to be able to hit them with the right hand as well and a few body shots as well. Because what will happen is that nothing hurts a fighter more than a body shot. But it's the same for Deontay Wilder. If I was Deontay Wilder using his tactics, Tyson Fury knows the right hand's coming. He knows in terms of like that the jab is going to come straight from the middle. So if I Deontay Wilder, no one seems to have tasted Tyson's body. Now Deontay Wilder isn't going to have that much of a reach disadvantage of Tyson Fury, and he will be able to, if he does keep in the center of the ring, if I Deontay Wilder, I'll go downstairs. You go downstairs as Tyson Fury, then you'll be able to open him up, and it goes for both fighters. Body, that's one thing you don't see much in heavyweight boxing. People always want to take someone's head off. The jab's a very token punch. You know what I mean? It's always the left hook and the right hook. You don't see many combos. It's like, let's have a slugfest. And I think what will happen is that the one who throws the most body punches will probably win this fight.
Yeah, I think that's a very good. Yeah, I didn't even consider that before.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
So I guess kind of let's focus on the key weapons for both guys to win this fight. So in terms of key weapons, what do you think, Kenny Ken, is the key for Tyson Fury to win this fight?
Well, Tyson Fury, it has to be footwork. It has to be head movement footwork. It has to be accuracy of his jab. But it has to be a double jab and likes a few combos. He's not going to hurt Wilder. He's not going to cuff his puncher. But what will happen is that concuss his punches. His timing has to be right. If his timing's out, he loses his fight. And that's my biggest worry about Tyson Fury. Freddie Roach can big him up as much as he likes. A lot of fighters look great in sparring, look great in the gym. But when you get out there and you're fighting a live fighter, who's been, it's not as if he's been out the ring. He's like I said, and another thing as well, fighting someone like Luis Ortiz was a tough fight for Deontay Wilder, but he came through that. Another thing, obviously Tyson Fury is not going to be as tough as Ortiz, but what Tyson Fury is going to do is pose a match problem. But you don't know what Tyson you're going to get because you can't, judge about ring rust. But the key one would be stamina. I'm not sure Tyson's stamina is going to last towards the end, and that's going to be a big problem for him. He's been out for too much. Look at David Hay.
Yeah.
What killed David Hay in both his fights with Tony Bellew was stamina. Now, Tony Bellew ain't an athlete. He's no athlete. I've seen him fight live with a wife. When he fought in Liverpool, 2015, I could see flesh coming out of his back. But he doesn't. but he's a life. But Dave Caldwell trained him hard, got him well conditioned. And one thing about Tony Wilford, he had good footwork. He uses his jab. He can take, like I said, Hay made one of the biggest mistakes ever. Is that he tried to go toe to toe. You know, try to left hook, and you don't when you try and swap left hooks with someone like Tony Bellew, it's good night, and that's what won David and Tony Bellew the second fight was a left hook. When he's because David Hay, instead of doing what his strengths are, straight punching, that's going to be a thing. And I think with Tyson as well, it's got to be the straight punches. None of this kind, like combinations. It's got to be straight throw in the middle. That's how you're going to discourage Deontay Wilder. He's throwing those sort of straight punches, which is going to get him on the retreat. Because the end of the day, for 12 rounds, Deontay Wilder can be coming forward. And you know what American judges are like? If you come forward, you win the fight.
They do like the aggression, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Ola, for me, and I don't know what you think about the keys of the fight for Wilder, I think he's going to have to be... I think he's going to have to remain calm because I think Tyson's going to do a lot to try and put him off, particularly if things are not going his way. I think Kenny Ken has mentioned that Wilder does have a good jab. And I actually think that Wilder has pretty underrated footwork, actually. I honestly do. I think Wilder's problem is sometimes when he gets overly aggressive, that's when you start seeing the windmills and you start seeing him tripping and stuff like that. But I think when he's calm and one thing I really liked about the Ortiz is I actually thought his footwork was very good in the Ortiz fight. And I think that was what helped him win and helped him also not get knocked down to the floor. So I think he's going to have to be calm and disguise his right hand a little bit as well, because I think that's the one thing that Fury will be watching for, that right hand.
Fury will see that coming a mile away. And he's going to have to be clever in how it proceeds with it. And a lot of it is going to have to do with feinting on the way in, because you can't. To me, like you said earlier on, Kenny, it's all about investing in the body. It's all about investing in that body shot, because if you don't build on your work and if you look at AJ, that's how he's been winning.
Yeah, true.
A lot of his fight. AJ, that's how AJ has actually been winning a lot of his fight body, and when you do that, in the end, it pays off. You know,
and I think against Fury, who, let's be honest, he's lost a lot of weight recently. If I'm Wilder,
he's lost 10 stones.
Test that stomach. I might try and test that belly area and see how much weight he has. See how conditioned Fury really is, because sometimes when you have lost a lot of weight, particularly when you're training, you are a little bit vulnerable to body shots.
Oh yeah, because the lactic acid actually come into play.
Yeah,
and it's how your body actually handles the lactic acid.
Yeah,
in your system, and people want to fight on, but you just have to cave in. You know, it winces you out, and you got to cave in. But the thing with Wilder, in my opinion, that these are the things. He's so athletic. He's a real athletic guy, and he relies on his power a lot, right? But can Fury drain that power out of him? Can he drain it? Because we haven't really seen anyone actually drain Wilder. But I think if there's anybody that can actually push him to drain that power out of him and just pick him off, it's Fury. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Wilder can go the course of the 12 rounds. So he'll be looking to finish the fight. I don't know.
He's only once, silly. He's only done it once, is he? Deontay?
That's what I'm saying. That's not his MO. It's not really his MO. So, I just think he's going to be looking to finish that fight within the first maybe 6-7 rounds.
See, maybe I'm the only one that thinks this. There, I actually could see Wilder finishing him late, because I think Kenny Ken is onto something with the fact that Fury's been out the ring a long time. And Wilder is ring ready. Say what you want about Ortiz being his first real test. He came through that. And he knocked the guy out. And he did extremely well in doing so. And I think with Wilder, yes, he's not going to be able to outbox Tyson Fury. That's not what I'm saying. But I think if Wilder can hang in there, he's got 12 rounds to knock him out. And I think Fury has shown in the past, even when Fury was on top of the world, that he has got a chin that's a bit soft. And if Wilder can hit that chin, it's game over. It's like
that's what everybody's waiting for. Everybody's waiting for that highlight reel knockout, and it might not come actually, because I think Fury is way more clever than we're giving him credit for. Let's be fair. Let's be fair to Fury. He is way more clever than what we're giving him credit for. He is a true champion. Obviously, like Kenny alluded to earlier on, you know, he's had his problems and all of that, yeah. And there's prolific fighters that's had these problems as well. Prince Nassim, all these guys, everybody goes through this type of stuff, yeah. But for him to even be back in the shape that he's in right now, he's winning for me already. For me, he's actually won a battle, because if you listen to his interview on Breakfast Club, some of the stuff that this man was thinking about offing himself.
Yeah,
more
it
time.
was a good interview. That interview. If you guys
if you haven't heard,
watch Breakfast Club.
Go and watch his Breakfast Club interview.
I'll see the interview.
He shed a lot of light into what was going on with him. And
came across so well.
Yeah, I respect him so much for what he's been through and what he's dealing with now. And he's saying win, lose or draw, he's already winning. And you got a champion for him. And you know, for me, he's going into this fight now with nothing to lose. And somebody that got fuck all to lose, like him, that's got the skills, is dangerous. I mean, Wilder's got everything to lose, because everybody's asking Wilder, why haven't you unified this belt yet? If you're that good, if you're really as good as what you say you are, why ain't that belt unified yet?
Well, that's what I was gonna just ask Kenny about. So what I was gonna ask about, and I guess this is where I think the pressure is on Wilder, is, let's be honest here. If Wilder loses this fight, how damning is that for American boxing? How can he lose to a man who's been out the ring for 2.5 years and he's just going to lose? I know it's Tyson Fury, but come on. He has to win this fight. He has to.
I think what's happened is that in terms of Wilder winning that fight, Wilder can still come back if he does win this fight, because at the end of the day, you know, I said he's at the moment he's 40-0. He's won. He's had some particular long, and another thing as well, he's held the belt for a long time, so there should be some sort of clauses.
Yeah,
I think in terms of Deontay Wilder, if he loses, there are going to be criticism of him. There's going to be a situation if Tyson Fury wins on points and he wins unanimously and wins on splits. The people are going to say, oh, he wasn't really that good anyway. He wasn't really a boxer. Yeah. He was just a slugger and everything. So he has got that pressure. Another thing as well, you've alluded, you're completely correct. Yeah, American boxing, especially in heavyweight boxing, needs Deontay Wilder to win the fight on Sunday and win well. You know what I mean? Because, so the pressure is on Wilder, but in a way, there's a lot of people in boxing, you know, especially people who know a lot of boxing, who generally believe that he's the underdog. People in Britain think he's the underdog. You know, like obviously Eddie Hearn thinks Wilder's going to smash Fury to pieces, but you speak to the thinking man. Let's this one admit it, but he actually thinks Tyson Fury's the favourite. Freddie Roach thinks he's the favourite. So there's a lot of wise people in boxing who generally are waiting for Deontay Wilder to fail. They're waiting to say that he wasn't that much of a boxer, that his footwork is wrong, where he kind of crosses his feet and he swings, leaves his chin open, blah, blah. So the pressure is on him. But then again, something could come good out of this, win, lose, or draw for Wilder. If he lasts the 12 rounds and it's a split decision, and he wins or even wins on points, and he actually manages to outbox Fury and fight a thinking fight, he'll get that could be good for him. Anthony Joshua, look what happened with him with Parker. You know, like I said, Anthony Joshua got more out of that fight than when he won his knockout, because a lot of people were realised that you know Joseph is very quick on his feet. You know, like I said, he's got a deceptive jab and he's got a deceptive left hook, and he comes in with and Anthony Joshua managed to use his reach advantage to show a repertoire, you know, in his skills that, you know, like I said, we didn't think that was possible. We like it when Anthony Joshua knocks people out, you know, but Anthony Joshua, you know, like his brain, and I think Deontay to do that as well.
I learned a lot personally. I don't get me wrong, I love the knockouts. Who doesn't? But I was one of the few people that found that Joseph Parker fight genuinely intriguing, because I could see what AJ was trying to do. You're just trying to just keep the guy at bay, use his jab, keep him at the end of a jab, because he doesn't know how dangerous Joseph Parker could be. And we saw in the Dylan White fight that actually when Joseph Parker's back is against the wall, he will throw hell and leather to try and get you out of there. And listen, don't get me wrong, Dylan White deserved to win the fight. Lord knows, I was screaming at the TV hoping he'd come through that fight. But he was lucky in round 12 in a lot of ways. If had a few more seconds, he might have got him out there. He might have done. So,
but I think that's the thing. It's all about. It's just going to be a very learning. It's going to be like an education for Deontay, that fight, because at the end of the day, he's never going to fight someone like Tyson Fury. And like I said, he'll be, if he can come through that, you know, basically a fighter who's basically like got a switch hit. He's very like, you know, like elusive, very skillful as well. And to come through that and beat a boxer at his own game, or take out a boxer, that's just fantastic for Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? That's brilliant news for him. That'd be good. Whether it will make waves in the United States, I don't know. I think a fight with Anthony Joshua and him taking out Anthony Joshua might make more noise.
Oh yeah. And this is Fury out in spectacularly early fashion. I don't see it being making a lot.
I mean, if Fury comes out of this victorious and he takes it, which there is a very, very good possibility that could happen. Do you think he gives Wilder a straight rematch, or he goes straight for Joshua's neck and try and unify that title that Wilder is taking so long?
Good question. You know what? I think Tyson Fury's only got about 2 years in boxing.
Man, me too.
I don't see Tyson Fury having a long career. I think what's happened is he's talking about, you know, like I said, giving more to the community and, you know, working with people with mental health and everything. So in terms of Tyson, I can't see Tyson. Tyson's going to want to make his money now. So he's going to want to fight Deontay and he's going to want to fight Anthony. So that's those could be
those could be the only two fights left in there for him if we're going by your logic. Those could be the only two fights that, you know, that get him in there, get his bank account fattened up. Because those are the 50 million pound fights. Yeah. You know, so get two of those, you don't really need to do nothing no more.
Yeah.
Look at Conor McGregor gets 100 million in one fight, and if you know what, fuck this, I'll go and sort me out some proper 12. You know?
But that's the thing. I think Fury's perfect fight plan would be beat Wilder, deal with the rematch, beat him again, go and find Anthony Joshua, beat him, and then go off into the sunset. That to me would be his perfect fight plan, because, like you say, he doesn't need the Dylan White fight. Because I think that Dylan White fight would be a nightmare fight for him.
Dylan White is an animal, man.
I think Fury wants to just deal with the Wilder situation, go and make his money with AJ, go off into the sunset, and know that he was the best of the best. And I think that for him would be perfect.
Well, you know what's happening? It'd be like the biggest comeback and the biggest turnaround since Muhammad Ali.
100%. 100%.
Because simple reason is that Muhammad Ali was the boxer. George Foreman was an animal. He was an animal. He was even when he was 38, he was an animal. But that George Foreman was an animal. Trust me. He made Mike Tyson seem like Oliver Twist. He was rude, horrible man. He threw punches with hate and venom. He had no intention of boxing you. He wanted to take you out, and he wanted to cause you serious pain. That man, he was awful. Before he found God, he was an awful, angry man. who hated the world, and he wasn't a dangerous guy to be around.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you both this question. Tyson Fury of 3 years ago, if he boxed Deontay Wilder now, who would win that fight?
Whoa. So Wilder now and Fury of 3 years ago.
Yes. 100%. Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking.
I'd say Fury. I'd have to go with Fury on that. Because Fury was ridiculous with some of the things that he was doing then before he had his layoff. I mean, first he knows how to get straight into the fighter's head. Before his shenanigans was up there with Connor's.
Yeah,
in terms of
it really was.
His shenanigans was
Irish
up there,
guys, they know how to wind you
right
up
up there with Connor's. I mean, the Irish, they just got talent for this shit, man. They are so talented and talking so much smack, and they can back it up.
Yeah.
You know, they can back it up, and I think Fury then, and he might still be able to do it come this weekend. I'd go with Fury.
Okay. How about yourself, Kenny Ken?
Good question, because the thing is, right, you've got to remember one thing, right? Deontay Wilder 3 years ago wasn't in his prime. He was very inexperienced. He was knocking man out. But, you know, at the time, his level of opponent was someone like Audley Harrison. Remember what he did at him in Sheffield in 2013? Battered him. That was his level at that time. But the guy, Deontay's now in his prime. He's got wealth of experience. He's been fighting a lot of fights at championship level. You know, like I said, he hasn't needed to go through the championship rounds because he's just too good for his opponents.
Mm.
And then you've got Tyson Fury 3 years ago. I think it'll still be a close fight. It'll still be a close fight because you've got to realise this. Tyson, you know, like I said, has got great skills. He's elusive. But got to remember Callum put him down. Remember? And like I said, so what's happened is that if he was hit by one of Deontay's detonators on a chin, square on a chin, I don't care who you are, you're not getting up. And you know, like I said, Tyson might take Deontay seriously. He may not, but the Tyson of 3 years ago was a very how do I say it, risky fight. And he, you know, if he doesn't respect Deontay's power, then he's got a problem. Because remember, there was a few times when he didn't respect him. But remember when he fought Derek Chisora, he respected him then. Because you noticed that Derek Chisora kept on walking into like a stiff jab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, there will be respect. Tyson with it, but I don't know. It'd be too close because you're talking about two fighters who one I think is past his best in Tyson, and one is in his prime. But if you have them both in their prime, it'd be a close fight. And I still think Deontay's power will take him.
Oh wow! So spoiler alert for Kenny's pick for this then. So let's go on Saturday. What do you think, or what do you see happening on Saturday?
Is that me?
For me or Ola?
Yeah, let's go for Ola first. What's your prediction?
Boy, I think Fury wins on points.
Wow, big call. Big call.
I think Fury wins on points. I think he outboxes him. I think he maneuvers him because nobody's really tested Wilder's tank over 12 rounds, and Fury's done it in his first comeback. He's got appetite for it. He might want to do it again. And if he knows, look, I'm not going to go in and try and compete power for power and try and slug it out with him. And actually, like Kenny Ken said, I think talking all that smack in the press conference is fooling everybody. He's actually going to respect Wilder's power and work around it. And that's how I think he's gonna win it on points. He's gonna try and rack up the points and get out of there.
Okay. Now, before I ask you, Kenny Ken, for your prediction, let me ask you one more question. Who do you think has the better CV out of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury?
Tyson, because he's beaten Klitschko. He beat a fighter who had about nearly how many defences? About well over 40 defences.
Yeah.
It's got to be Tyson. He beat the man.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, Vladimir Klitschko will go down as one of the greatest heavyweight champions. Like, simple reason is the fact of the matter is he took on all comers and he beat them comfortably. You know, and and the one thing about a great fighter is you get up. You know, like I said, his early years he was chilly, he was getting battered, and you know he's had a few knocks. He's got up. So Tyson has got a better CV. Deontay Wilder, he's got a chance now to get a couple of scalps now, and then if he gets those couple of scalps, you can't take away his passage into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If it happens.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, he will fight Anthony. It's got to happen. British pub. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the mandatory fight is now out of the way, so there's nowhere else to hide. They can't hide behind anything else anymore. This fight has to happen. This is the fight that everybody. This is. They've got to give the fucking fans this fight, and I think it should be the next one. It should definitely be the next one.
Okay, so Kenny Ken, your prediction for Saturday?
Sadly, I think Deontay Wilder's going to have too much for Tyson Fury, and sadly, I think what will happen is I think Tyson Fury's corner is going to pull him out. They're gonna, despite all the talk and everything, and despite the fact that Freddie Roach has said he looks good in the gym and everything, they know their fighter. They know the training camp. They're not going to tell us what's going on in the training camp. They're not going to tell us whether how things went. They're going to say it's the best camp ever. I'm in the best shape of my life. But come the bell, if Tyson can't do what he's good at, i.e., seeing the punches coming, you know, like getting his footwork right and not getting hit by Deontay Wilder, I can only see his corner pulling him out. Because if Tyson Fury can't evade any of the punches that Deontay Wilder throws at him, then that's a huge bit of his skill set gone. Because at the end of the day, then you're going to ask him to do something that's unnatural for him, which is slug it out. You know, like I said, hold and everything. He holds a lot because he's a big lad. But is Tyson really a slugger? You know, is he going to go toe to toe with Deontay Wilder? No.
And I would be scared.
Yeah, but if he can't slip any of Deontay's punches and he hasn't got the punch resistance, you know, without being in the ring, even though he's only a young man, he's only 30 years old. No, he's only about 29, 30, you know, like I said. But the fact of the matter is, it's ring rust again. Yeah, Dave, you could be a young 29 or an old 30.
It's a big factor. It's definitely a big factor. You're right there, Kenny. It's absolutely it's a big factor.
I have serious concerns for Tyson. I'm very concerned about Tyson's welfare. You know, not welfare, but in terms of the fact is that I'm not convinced that Tyson is going to have the stamina, the footwork, and the punch resistance.
So you mean his well-being, yeah?
I feel for his not for his mental welfare, but his physical welfare. I do feel for him. I fear for him. Because the other day, I just don't. I can understand what he's doing. I think if Tyson Fury gets to the 11th round or loses on points, that's a win. He's won that fight. Because at the end of the day, to come back and to last that long against a live fighter and a massive puncher is a victory in itself for Tyson.
I mean, it worries me when Wilder talks about when it goes into the ring, he goes to try and murder people in the ring. He wants to take people's lives in the ring. He's trying to kill. He's trying to kill a man.
That's a selling point. Yeah, he wants to put bums in seats. He knows, like, the casual boxing fan wants to tear up and someone to be unconscious on the floor. People like ourselves who love boxing want a match. We don't want to fight. We want a match. We want skill. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, if I change the subject, we've got 2 pay-per-views on December the 22nd. You got Queensberry Rules, which is Warrington versus Frampton, which is going to be a great boxing match.
Great boxing match, though. Yeah,
great boxing match. But then you got like I said, Dillian, Derek, or War, whatever he calls himself. That's a slugfest. You're going to see no skill there. But the casual boxing fan wants to watch heavyweight boxing. He wants a fight.
Heavyweight boxing is where it's at, unfortunately for them.
So, those poor lads are going to lose out, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's true.
And they don't serve it because, you know what I mean? A world title fight is on the line, yet we're going to see like the Battle of London.
Yeah.
Brixton versus Finchley.
Yeah.
Mark II.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Serious. That's a serious card.
Their first fight was a fucking classic. So Warrington and Frampton have no chance, really, on a 22nd.
But Warrington and Frampton will be the better fight.
It will be. It'll be technically the
it's
better.
got a world title.
Yeah. It will be. You're right. You're right. For me, I personally am with Kenny Ken. I think Tyson 3 years ago schools Wilder, in my opinion. But I think that ring rust means something in every single sport. As soon as you talk about physicality, you know, you can't expect to be at the pinnacle of your game with 2 fights that, let's be honest, all of us would be competitive in. You know, we could all box the guys that Fury boxed, and I think that's the problem, because I think the Hay comparison is a perfect comparison. You know, Hay went from boxing 2 bums, beat them with relative ease, and then he just assumed he was going to stomp all over Bellew. And I think the Hay, again, of 4 or 5 years ago, would have ran rings around Bellew. And you know what? Bellew would have told you that. But the fact that, you know, David had suffered this horrible shoulder injury. And I think as a fighter, once you have a shoulder injury, you ask George Groves.
Yeah.
Once you have a shoulder injury, to be honest, it's more or less a wrap. You're not the same guy. Very rarely do you come back well from a shoulder injury. And we saw what happened to David Hay. Now, yes, I understand it that Fury hasn't technically suffered an injury per se. But, you know, we're talking about a man who ballooned in weight. He drops that weight, but then has also had 2.5 years out of the ring. And I think all of that will, unfortunately for him, be very telling in the fight. And I think I think it will be quite a long fight. I don't see this being a short fight. I think Fury has too much heart, so I don't see it ending very quickly. But I could see there being a possibility. I think Kenny Ken again is right that the corner just say, "All right, enough's enough," and pulls him out in the later round. So I see it being a Wilder TKO round 10.
Well,
unfortunately, I want Fury.
When Fury wins, both of you are buying me my Guinness.
Happily so.
Yeah.
Happily so.
Hey, Ola.
Yeah.
Ola, you know what I'll do? Ola, not only will I buy you Guinness, I'll buy you a pub. I want Tyson Fury win this fight. You won't find a bigger Tyson Fury fan than me. I absolutely love the man.
Man. I know what you're saying still. I know what you're saying.
Like I said, he's everything that Billy Joe Saunders isn't. Classy.
Yeah, agreed.
Billy Joe Saunders is a very horrible, obnoxious, arrogant little man. Arrogant, and he's childish as well. But Tyson Fury is a gentleman. And he's a pleasure to be around. And so is his supporters. I can't say the same for Billy Joe Saunders' supporters. Seriously, Darren.
Well, there we have it. So that's what we all think. 2 of us think that Fury will take it. One of us think that. Sorry, 2 of us think that Wilder will take it. So you guys let us know what you think in the chat room, live in the chat room. Let us know. Leave it in the comments below. It'd be interesting to get the debate started. Ola, do you want to touch on anything else before we wrap things up?
Just want to touch on the fight that happened on the weekend between Ngannou and Curtis Blades. Yeah, I thought that was that's going to be the last one between both of those guys now, because that was the second one, and Ngannou's won both of them. Francis Ngannou, it knocked him out. It knocked him out in 44 seconds, something like that. Absolutely blazed him. And I know Dana White is moaning about the stoppage, but in my eyes, Curtis Blades was mashup. The man got bounced off the ground. So, now the way Overeem won on the night as well. Overeem wants it as well. He wants it. He wants it with Francis Ngannou. He wants to do it again. He's changed his gym. He's changed a lot on how he trains. And he wants to go. He wants another shot at Ngannou, but Ngannou doesn't really want him. The people that Ngannou actually wants is Stipe and Derek Lewis. So Stipe doesn't want Ngannou. Stipe wants Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier doesn't want Stipe. He wants Brock Lesnar. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts right now, and I can guarantee you, those two winning has just changed the face of the heavyweight division, because there's so many fights that could come out.
Overeem wants Lewis, doesn't he? Which I don't think would be a bad fight for Lewis.
It wouldn't be a bad fight. It wouldn't be a bad fight.
I think he can knock out Overeem. Overeem's got a glass jaw, so
because
that would be a good fight for Lewis to come back to.
That Lewis and Daniel Cormier fight, that was like a exhibition fight, in my opinion, because if I thought Derek Lewis's true opinion about a title fight came out after he beat Volkov, when Joe Rogan was asking him that, what you saying about a title fight? He's like, fuck that shit. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I need to be in the fucking gym talking about that fucking title fight. I ain't ready for that. So that was the true opinion. But when somebody offers you a big venue like MSG, Madison Square Garden, you're you're going to be fighting in the main event with so much money being thrown at you in all the fights you've put together. Turn it down, even if it means you're going to lose. And I think he knew he was going to lose going into that fight. So, but now that there's people in there that actually fight the same way that he likes to fight, they fight standing, they go slugfesting. These people are knockout artists. People like Overeem, people like Ngannou, Derek Lewis. These guys are knockout artists. And now all three of them want to fight. Let's see what happens. Mark Hunt is fighting is fighting on Saturday. Mark Hunt. So if he wins, so if he wins, he gets fucking thrown back into the mix as well. And Mark Hunt, we know what he's capable of doing. So there's a lot of moving parts right now. I'm really excited about the heavyweight division. So yeah, we'll wait and see what fights get put together.
Before we wrap it up, let me also get your last word on our fellow Nigerian Israel Adesanya.
Oh man,
Anderson Silva. Wow.
Oh man,
what a fight that would be.
That's gonna be what probably the biggest fight of his career.
Yeah, of course.
So for him, just being in the octagon with the legend like Anderson Silva, and if he manages to beat him, it's a major deal, and that could open all kinds of doors for him. The other guy that I'm really excited about right now is Kamaru Usman.
Of course,
I'm really excited for this guy. He's on his way to it, and if you look at Aaron Woodley's Instagram the other day, he was actually talking some really good stuff about Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman reminds.
They're quite close.
Yeah, he said he reminds him of a younger him.
Yeah,
it reminds him of him at that younger age, and he definitely wants to give Kamaru Usman his chance at the title. So You know, there's gonna be a bunch of good fights coming up. Max Holloway, Ortega, they're all in the works. You know, Cyborg, Amanda Nunes. That's another one with. That's the co-main event on the John Jones Gustafsson fight. You know, so there's a lot of moving parts happening right now, man. It's gonna be nice for combat sports in the next couple of months. This Chisora, Dylan White is combat sports is at its all-time high right now. I'm fucking loving it.
It's funny you should mention that. Just as the last thing, Kenny Ken, this Chisora White fight, surely it's white all over. It's white again. 100%. White will take this.
Right? What Dillian's skill set has improved immensely. That he, like I said, Luke, you know, like since he's fought Derek, you know, obviously people, you know, like I said that Lucas Brown was nothing special, but before that, Lucas Brown had a massive. Lucas Brown was a good fighter. You know, like he put his man down. He was unbeaten. He had years of activity because of failing a couple of drug tests. But the way Dillian White took him apart was quite systematic.
Yeah,
it was like very planned. Yeah. It was ruthless, and that left hook destroyed him. Yeah. But Dillian White's performance against Joseph Parker, where he was a complete underdog. Let's not forget. I didn't think Dillian had a chance against him.
Oh, really? You wrote him off before the fight?
Dillian had no chance. I thought Dillian was stupid to take the fight. I thought Dillian didn't give himself enough time for the fight. It was only 6 weeks' notice. Yeah. But Dillian's performance from even up to 12 round, it was a very clever performance. Even when he was hurt, he took a knee. Yeah. He didn't try to slug it out like he did with Anthony. He took a knee, and that's where you get ring intelligence. His conditioning has improved immensely from when he fought Derek in 2016. And it doesn't matter what Derek. I know David Hayes is telling him that David Hayes he's seen different things from Derek, and it's fine. We all look good in training. Even if me and you, if all of us are playing at Market Road is Market Road, having a kick about or playing a non-competitive Sunday League match, we're all going to be great. Yeah. I'm going to be quick. I'm going to be a great wing. You're going to be a great football. We're all going to be great. But when we come against live opponents, it's a different thing. And I think Derek, unfortunately, is going to find that his days of, like I said, picking up the crumbs from the rich man's table, trying to, like I said, make a complete idiot of himself in order to force himself into a position that he doesn't really deserve, really.
Yeah. And what do you make of David Hay Chisora thing? This is nonsense, right? It's like Dylan White says. So you're going to cut 25% of your check and give it to David Hay for what?
But greed on both sides. Greed on both sides. David Hay's got the connections. David Hay needs a big name. It's greed. David Hay. The one thing about David Hay, right? You might as well call his middle name David. Like to give me more pounds. Hay. He's obsessed with money. That man. And also about it, right? Is that he can sell. So he's obsessed with money. Yeah. Even he left the cruiserweight division. He went straight in heavyweight. Why? Financial gain. Yeah. He came back out of retirement for finances. The Tony Bellew fight, which sold a lot, was Tony Bellew was saying that David Hay was one of the brightest and most astute negotiators ever, and you've got to impress David Hay. We making money till maybe his last breath. David Hay has got a great future as a pundit, which he's very good at, and he's got a great future as a matchmaker.
Well, even Eddie Hearn said it, that the only person that likes a pound note more than him is David Hay.
And that's crazy when the promoter's saying that, because they love money.
Yeah, and Derek Chisora can put bums on seats. Yeah. Half the people who want to watch Derek want to see Derek get slapped and battered all over the place. The other bit, no, Derek is going to be like I said, give you entertainment, but for the love of God, Derek Chisora, can he just relax, find something to do? I am sick and tired of watching this poor man be basically a punch bag for up and coming fighters. There's a reason why Derek Chisora's lost 8 fights because he ain't very good.
Well, you're not impressed with the Takam victory, though.
The Takam victory, you got to realise, right, is that both average fighters were fighting. Takam is probably a better fighter than Derek Chisora, but guess what? Takam made the most fatal mistake you can make in the ring. You run out of gas.
Yeah.
Out of gas. Doesn't matter how badly you're beating your opponent for 10 or 15 rounds. The fact of the matter is, if you don't put them away and you've got no energy left, and your hands are down,
you're in the world of trouble. In the world of trouble.
And it was a school error. The first knockdown should have been a thing. So he comes out, he gets up, and his hands are down again. So he gets up again. Jesus Christ! Surely that was a sign that you're tired.
Yeah, I think he was out of it. To be honest, I think he was out of it for the first knockdown.
Yeah. I mean, Derek Chisora. How many times Derek Chisora is not exactly the knockout artist? I mean, come on. How many times have you seen Derek Chisora knock a man out? He's like I said, he's not a very clean puncher. What he is a slugger, and you will go try rounds with Derek Chisora because he can take a crack. But come on, that poor man's brains when he finishes boxing. I worry about it. I worry about the man's health.
You're right, because if you want to look at it another way, Chisora's most impressive performance was the Dillian Whyte fight, and he lost that.
Yeah,
let's be real.
And what about his fight with Vitaly Klitschko? A great performance, but he lost.
Yeah, yeah. And those are his 2 most impressive performances. So
he couldn't even
right.
Couldn't even beat Pulev. I mean, I know Hughie Fury struggled against Pulev, but Pulev is probably one of the poorest champion fighters I've seen in years.
Yeah, I agree.
His technique, his reach is fantastic. His technique is terrible.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even beat Pulev. He was walking to Pulev's jab all night long.
But I don't rate Hughie Fury anyway. He's always been a poor man's Tyson. Always.
Of course he is, but he's another one. He's marketable. I'm sure David Hay will tell him that he's going to make him the biggest thing since Joe Budden and everything. And David Hay will make him money. Yeah. But David Hay's skill set in making money is just fantastic. But you never know. But you never know with Derek. But I still can't see it happening. I just can't see Dillian Whyte. But then again, the only person who could beat Dillian Whyte against Derek Chisora is Dillian Whyte himself. If he doesn't take Derek seriously, doesn't train as hard, and doesn't.
Yeah, I think it will. I think loses. It will because it's got his I think Dillian Whyte would take him seriously. He's got his eyes set on higher targets. Anyways, I think this Chisora fight is just a means to an end for him.
Yeah.
It's money. It's money.
And it's a chance for him to win more definitively.
Exactly. That's why I think it's a means to an end. Exactly what you just said there, Chig. To try and showcase a little bit more of his skill set in terms of winning emphatic in an emphatic way, and I think he'll pull it off. Yeah, I think he'll pull it off.
But for his career, the better fight for him would have been Ortiz.
Oh yeah, that's the fight I wanted. That's the fight.
Hughie Fury is a better fight for him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Even fighting that baby Miller, that guy in America, that clown as well. Was he Baby Miller?
Good. I'm not the only one that doesn't rate that guy.
I mean, the guy says he's in the great shape of his life. Do me a favour, mate. He looks like Macho Ghostbusters.
You know who Miller is? He's basically one big plodding black guy from America, right? Yeah. Runs his mouth about everybody. And you think to yourself, fucking hell, okay, how good is this guy? He's the most basic fighter you will ever see.
Just basic. But even that would be a better fight for him than Derek Chisora. Come on. This is money. Derek Chisora, the thing about Dillian Whyte is that Derek Chisora is marketable, but not for the right reasons. And that's the thing. The reason why he sells the fight is his antics. You go to any
it's a drama queen, isn't it? It's a drama queen, isn't it?
You go to any boxing match, right? And Derek Chisora is always around there, getting free entries, pouncing around, making a press of himself, and saying the right things. Talking to a very good person like in Kugan Cassius, and listening to all these nonsense. And basically, it's just saying, what he's doing is saying, "I'm here, I'm available. Please let me fight in these big fights." And guess what? Eddie Hearn falls for it, and he gives this clown a game, a fight. That's even though I mean he's nowhere near getting a world title. He's no way is he in the top fight of any of the boxing bodies. Yet this man is still making a living because he hangs around. He hangs around. I was at both George Groves fights with Cole Frotch, and he was hanging around like a bad smell. You know what I mean?
Kenny's going
Joshua, he could say the man's a parasite. He's a parasite. He's a bully.
Oh, dear.
You know what I mean?
So, not Kenny Ken's favourite fighter, as we can tell.
He can't fight. He can't fight.
Gosh. Anyway, so that's pretty much it from us. So you guys let us know what you think. Who do you think will win on Saturday? Deontay Wilder, the WBC champion, versus Tyson Fury, the lineal champion. But they're both undefeated. Somebody's O has got to go. You heard what we thought. So, Ola.
If it's draw, someone's O they'll still have an O.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
That's true. If it's a draw, so both their O's stay intact.
Good call, Kenny. Good call.
No doubt a rematch will straight away happen if that's the case. But anyway.
I think Tyson will be filling out Wembley Stadium.
Kenny Ken, let the people know where they can find you.
Well, like I said, if you can find me on Kenny12. You can find me on Kenny Ken 1972 on Twitter. Kenny, so I thought you were going to actually see it. I was going to give him my email address. How stupid me. No way will do. So you guys can all abuse me and call me all sorts of names. No, just do that on Twitter. Don't worry, because at least if you do it on Twitter, I can mute you.
Love that mute button. Love it.
Oh, but at the end of the day, if I do give me an email address and you send me all garbage, you're going to spam anyway.
Trash.
So, Ola, do you want to let the people know where they can find you?
Yeah, man. You man already know where you can find me. You can find me on Twitter, Black Scorpion Free, Instagram, Black Scorpion Free, Capital Scorpions TV on YouTube. Go out there. You always find me on various platforms as well. All the time here, though. Always keep it locked on here, man. Keep it locked on here. This is where it is. And
as for my mug, you could find me at Colossal Chig on Twitter or on Instagram at Guna_Eagle_I. The number one. I'm slowly but surely starting to use it.
Yeah, I see your post. I see your post on there. There yesterday, man.
I know, right?
That was live.
Almost got 100 followers as well. I'm slowly getting there. But yeah, so do follow me on Insta. I need to get my numbers up.
Apparently, we've had a better time here than
what's Instagram? What's his Instagram?
Mate, I'm only just learning about it, so I'm the wrong person to ask.
All I know about Instagram is Instagram is that you use your same Twitter handle as you use as Instagram. So it's Instagram.
On Instagram you can post. You post photos on there. You can post messages on there. You can put stories on there, and nobody goes on there to troll you. You don't get no retweets. You don't get none of that.
Apparently, it's a much nicer place to be than Twitter is. Apparently,
so basically, all those people who were on Love Island, they got their Instagram.
Oh yeah, it was. If you want to check out some Instagram models as well, that's the place to go to.
Right now, I'm amongst Nigerians, so I've got to go in a mix. I'm very hungry. Do you remember Love Island where we had this guy called Jack, and they said he was one of us, or Ola Jack. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah.
And he used to go like he was a bad boy, you know, man. You know, like I said, like half black, man. And all these Nigerians adopted him. And then guess what he did? He made the biggest mistake as well. Instead of calling it plantain, he called it planting.
Oh no! I was just talking about this to someone else. That us Africans, we don't call it plantain.
Plantain.
It's plantain.
We say it the way it's spelled.
How you mean?
Planting. Planting. French.
Oh,
Fufu.
oh gosh, that's hilarious.
He's gonna be one of our own. You know, I said, and then he went and said planting.
Yeah, man, you get evicted for them type of things. There, straight eviction, man.
I mean, you know, like I said, before I discovered West Indian food, I only thought Africans ate plantain.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't realise that our cousins from the Caribbean love plantain as well. But as soon as I said the word plantain as well, I was like, bloody stop. Our plantain has got more flavour and it's softer, not like your hard bits that you can.
I love. You know what? I might go to my mum.
I'm in deep trouble.
Plantain. I know my mum. So
you guys are making me hungry, man. You're making me hungry.
I need some plantain.
Do you remember plantain? Do you remember plantain, right? With a bit of yam and a bit of our stew.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually hungry. Oh dear. Right. Now that Kenny Ken has made us sufficiently hungry, we're gonna get the heck out of it. So you guys take care. Peace. We're out of it.
Salutes.